Hey. Hey. Sorry guys for being late. I had some connection issues here. But all good now. I'm here. Drop a comment below. Hey. Welcome, Drippy Gang. Welcome, everyone. I'll wait for a minute or so for folks to join. Hey. Yeah. Thanks for all the comments, guys. Thanks for all the support so far. It's been amazing. Almost 10,000 followers. Just waiting a little bit more for a few folks to join here. Yeah, I know it's Halloween. No problem. My pleasure. Alright, so I'm gonna start soon. Just waiting to see if more folks join us. Afternoon. Good afternoon, Kim. 10k to 100k soon. Oh yeah. Droplets dripping. Yep. Yeah, I saw like 100 people liked it, so I'm waiting to see if like few other folks join. Then I'm gonna start. Trick or treat, yeah. Driplets, not droplets. Driplets. All right. So let's start this. Okay. So gonna go over a few trades for the week. If I miss anything, just let me know so I can add here. But I have a clean chart so I can show you like how to actually think about these things. So first I'm gonna talk about sorry for disrespecting. Who's this? I don't know. Okay. So yeah, let's first talk about Lucid. This is Lucid. And as you all know, this was a banger. So why was $30 mark so important? So let's look at this. Look at this area first. This is the very easy way to think about supply and demand zones. I mean, here it got rejected below 30, never closed below, above 30 here. After that big run up, never closed above 30 here. Tried again, failed. Tried again, failed. Tried again, failed. So whole year it has been rejected by the 30 level. Had good news, still rejected. Had good news, still rejected. Earnings were good, but then now, started to make higher high. And, I've been talking about Lucid for a while. And, I've told like some of my friends who are like, not friends, but like coworkers. Some of them are like billionaires. And, they have been talking about investing in Lucid. So I knew that Lucid is going to run. It's just a matter of when they actually start delivering. And that news will pretty much break out. We'll see a breakout on Lucid. Because everyone was waiting for the delivery news. Because that's what matters when it comes to companies like Lucid. That's what matters the most. And level 30 was the level I was watching. And also I was watching the flow. I'll go over the flow in a minute. But look at the chart on a daily, let's look at the chart when I actually posted about it. So it tried again, level 30 supply, failed that day. And I told that, wait for the dips here. Wait for the dips on this day. So I got in around this day. pretty much at the bottom, because if you look at the 30-minute chart, for example, this was a day before the big run up. It tried to break this level again, and then but it was still holding this EMA well, and I think got at pretty much the bottom of this here. I got calls, not I didn't get same week expiry. I got 1 week ahead, but it doesn't matter because again it was like 1000%. And let's say that you weren't in the trade before, you weren't in the trade before that day. Like, how would you trade? Now let's go back to this. So this would be a good example of how to get in, like, on breakouts. So whenever you see a critical level, like such a critical level, like $30 mark for Lucid, which was acting as a huge resistance for a while, there is a very high chance when things break out, when it actually breaking out, there it will retest that level again. And look here, it retested 30 and it went back ahead. So this, you could have bought the dip here that day, or you could have gotten in around this level. And this was not like early in the morning, this was 10:40 in the morning. So it wasn't like you were like late to the party here. Like the majority of the move what happened after that, like it moved from 10:45, it moved 27% that day. So you didn't miss out on anything. You could have taken weekly calls. I mean, I was watching other tickers, but I still had calls in it. I wasn't worried about it because I didn't have 0 DTE. Now let's say that I had like same week expiry, I would probably have sold around this area when I saw this kind of like a dip here and a minor pullback, but it was still holding this EMA well. And in my opinion, like with the amount of volume, like look at this relative volume here, you can just easily hold your calls. And I mean, you could have gotten on breakout of this level, and I also told like buy the dips. So I actually bought the dip here around this area, and then I was just waiting for this, like it was consolidating around this area. Look at the volume here. It's kind of like, this is a consolidation happening here. This, like, you can say accumulation happening, whatever you want to say. And then the breakout again, like, I mean, like it was this phenomenal, like it gave you opportunities whole day. And then someone was like, well, someone wanted to get in at $40 mark, and I was like, nah, that's not really smart because it's already at 40. But it did touch 41 level at the end of day, so next day. So still a good looking chart. Still I'm bullish on it. It might need a couple of days. If you look at the daily chart now, it is like RSI definitely is at this point extended. If you go and look back here, it doesn't matter for this though, because look at this RSI was back in January. It was RSI overbought, and it was at, I don't know what level, like $15. One sec. Yeah, it was at like $15 mark. I just got a notification that my PC might update in an hour or so, so hopefully we'll finish the live stream before that. But yeah, I mean, this RSI was overbought, and it was still, I mean, it made this huge move. So everything is possible. Like it's possible. Like this is probably the most, like the highest volume bar in all of Lucid's history so far. So this is institutional money. This is not retail money. So in my opinion, it's not gonna dump. I mean, it might retest this area, this is another supply area. Now it might test this again. There might be some unfilled bids at this area, which it might fill, which is 33 area if the market pulls back. But I mean, who knows? In my opinion, this is another unfilled bids area. So I mean, I'm showing you live how to make supply and demand zones here, and it bounced off from this area, see. So Yep, this is how you draw all these areas, and there's a big gap here. If you look at the volume profile here, it's a big gap here, and usually sellers are around this area. So 44 mark is important. I think if it tests 44, you'll see that there's a supply zone here, and most probably it's gonna like sell off from this area. And then if the volume is strong, doesn't matter, it can definitely go to 50 fast. It just depends on the volume that day and the catalyst. I mean, depends on how the deliveries go and how the reaction is for Lucid. So definitely something to keep in mind. And now let's look at the flow for Lucid as well. I'm just gonna copy my filters here to save some time. But yeah, so now this is my usual setting here, 50,000 premium, minimum, ask only. I set the date to expire 60 days, and usually I set out of money calls, but since it has already moved that much, we won't be able to see out of money unless we deselect it, because it has already moved since the calls were purchased. But I mean, just look at the flow for Lucid. Let me change the time here so we can actually see on the exact couple of days before the move happened here. So yeah, I mean, like let's look at the flow here, like 477 call here on 26th morning. And like, if you really want to look at the flow perspective, I think this is a better way. So yeah, like look at this call volume, like from last couple of days, it has been around like 360k, 312k, so nothing was out of normal. But on the day before that day of the big run up here, 24%, like on that day itself there was so much call buying happening. Like this was on 28th of October and 27th. So these are the key dates, right, we want to see. And if you look at the chart, if you look at the alerts for Lucid, right, you can see here that there were alerts on this on Lucid, bullish alert here on 28th morning here. This was one alert, and then there was another alert here on 27th morning here. So I usually don't pay attention much to the alert section because I am looking at the live flow. So on that day I was looking at the live flow 27th. No, this is Roblox, but I was looking at the live flow for Lucid here. And on 27th, I saw this like call buying happening here. And also I saw, there were like sweep orders for 30 days expiry. And then there was like another 19th. Sorry, I think I clicked something here which messed up my settings. What is this guy? Someone is spamming the channel. 1 second, let me just remove this user. Okay. Okay, anyway, so yeah, I removed this guy who was spamming the channel. But yeah, so like these calls might seem like less, like like not out of money for you, but like remember that Lucid was around this level when like before the big move. So yeah, and also like I was watching the flow for Lucid for a while, and EV was hot, Tesla was hot, so everything was looking good with respect to the sector. Also, like XPEV itself a couple days before moved, and right now it's a bull flag ready to break out again. This was the day when we made like 1000% on Monday, I think. with a strong breakout of volume here. So with respect to XPEV trade, right? This go over to my previous video. I already talked about why I was bullish on it, and also the flow, everything. So that was in my weekly setups video. I'm not gonna cover that, like, because it's already done now. But look at XPEV chart now. It's about to break out again. It's a bull flag, ready to break out to the upside. Definitely watching this next week, of course. Earnings are coming up, and this company has had phenomenal earnings last 2-3 times. So if you think Lucid and Tesla have room to run up more this week, I think Lucid for sure has room to run up. I already told you. I think levels to watch are 43, 44 area, 45, and then $50 mark. Like, it can fill this gap. If the volume is high, it can fill it really fast. If the volume is strong, it can fill it fast. But it just depends on the overall market. Like, if the market is hot, Lucid will run. If the market is weak, then Lucid might consolidate for a couple more days. And to be honest, it's okay. It's better for it to consolidate. That way we can get a better entry. Like, look at this. This is what I mean by consolidation. Like, I want to see something like this, which we are seeing on XPEV right now. Yeah, this is what I want to see, because then you can get a better entry now. Like with XPEV, we already got the dips here. We already have position, but we can manage our risk against this level. It retested this as a support area. Now it is looking solid. Like, it's very similar to around this area. Very similar looking chart, and this trend line is also like holding well. So yeah, again, 4-point move, 5-point move is still like back to $50 mark. So I mean, it has outperformed levels, perform news and everything else. Why is this guy spamming the channel? Come on, man. It's Black Bull Master. Idiot. Okay. So yeah, I think with respect to Tesla, yeah, I mean, like, Tesla is way extended at this point of time. It just broke out of this big basing area here. Ideally, I would like it to retest this area. This will become a support area now. This area is I would say like a demand zone now. There's a gap to be filled here. Does that mean Tesla will fill it? Most probably not, because it's way far off from here. There's institutional money in it. But in my opinion, like, if you want to draw fib levels, like extended, sorry, there's some background noise here from my house, so I apologize. But like, the way you can draw extended fib levels here, you select this point, and this point, and right now it's already extended, so you can go here and select like extended levels. So these are the extended levels. Yeah, so I think for now the levels to watch would be 1165 and 1312, and this is not far off. If you look at the chart, it's really close, but I'll be watching 1165 level for it to possibly, it will struggle after this, in my opinion, but we'll see. Let's evaluate it as it goes. But yeah, I think it has room to go. 1165, 1150 is possible. Yeah. Yeah, I know this guy is really acting weird. Why? I don't know. What have I done? Some people just don't have anything else in life. Uh, Thanks, man. Thanks, SD. But yeah, so I mean, like, if you look at this chart here, it broke out of this long basing area, right? It was in consolidation for a while. It's very similar to how X-Link X broke out. So, you know, always look out for these patterns. You know, on a strong volume as well. You know, this volume was strong. This was a good entry area for XPEV, X-Link X. The only thing I don't like about this stock is that this spread is so wide. That's why I didn't get in, because it just wasn't for me. Thank you for reporting. I don't know how to ban. I already like removed this guy from my. The only options I see is like report and like stuff like that. So can you go over the flip process again? Yeah, sure, I can go over in some other chart, but let's go look at Roblox. Alert setups, flow setup alert. Yeah, I think it will take a lot of time. I have to run after this, but I can cover the alert section in a separate video. I think will not be able to cover in this one. Let's look at Roblox. I'm watching this one for next week, of course. But just look at this chart here. Broke out of on this weekly, resistance, you can say, trendline resistance in a way. Also, if you look at the volume profile for Roblox on a daily chart, it's been hovering around this area for a while, and earnings are coming up, so might be a run up towards the earnings area. I mean, there's this supply area here which gets rejected from every time it comes here, but it's making the move towards the upside. It's making the move, and the reason why I like this trade that day was, look at the flow for Roblox. So I think I alerted. Let's look at the chart first. So this was the day before, right? So around 2 o'clock, right? So I think I alerted around 3 o'clock, like I got in around this area. And let's look at the flow here. This was, what date was it? This was 28th of October, right? Now on 28th, around 2 o'clock, 2:52, I see this out of money call. I see 19th of November is expiry, which is soon, and these are big orders here. And then, I'm looking at the flow, and then next day early morning I'm looking here at the flow. 29th, you can see here 84. That's again around out of money, around that area. And then, so I mean, it was obvious here. That's why someone asked me, hey, I don't know if I should hold or not. I'm like, well, I'll be buying the dips, but you do what you think is best. But I mean, this was like $1 million order on 26th at 3 o'clock, and this was 85 call, and on 26th it was below 85. Like you can see here, the underlying price was $81. So 4-point move for $1 million floor order. So I mean, this is how you can guess it's bullish, right? And you can see this guy had actually a spread here of almost a $3 million spread, selling puts and buying calls. If you go here, just to kind of go on a tangent here for a sec, this is the new OPC calculator. And it's super convenient for you. So now you can see here, this you just load this trade here, and you can see here net credit, max loss, max profit, everything else. And then also this is a 2-leg strategy. It's not loading here for some reason. Maybe they're working on it, but if it loads, I could have shown you how it works. Maybe in the next video I'll cover this. Is it favorable over option strat? Well, I think the problem is right now, it has a lot of functionality which option strat doesn't have, and I really like the UI and everything on it. So I don't know what happened here. I think they're just working on this page. But yeah, I think option strat, if you look at option strat, it does have other things here which I think unusual whales will work on, which is basically it gives you contract value, percent of max risk. So I like both. I use both. This has a it's much simpler because it has less features, but of course, right, you cannot, you have to manually create strategies on this one, which I don't like. Like if you have to create like advanced strategies, you have to manually enter, but with respect to whales, you can just load this, which is such a time saver that I think going forward I'm just going to use this. I just have to get used to it, and I'll create tutorials on it, how to use it, like how to create your own strategies going forward. I'm trying to get into more like straddles and all that. I personally don't trade them, but I know a lot of people like to see that, so I'll try to consider that as well. But for now, I'm just gonna focus on like directional trading. Are opening a Discord soon? Yes, I am. I am opening a Discord soon. Yeah, I don't know who's this guy, Train Lockwood. I'm sorry guys, these spammers, I just don't know what to do with them. I haven't had this problem before. Yeah, so I mean, with respect to Roblox now, definitely we're watching this one because I think we might see run up to earnings. But one thing to keep in mind with Roblox is that you see these wicks here. Every time it has this, like it runs up and then it fades down. We don't want to see that. If that happens, we might have to just get out. Like if it breaks down this EMA, that's a bad sign. Right now, both these EMAs are acting as support here on the daily. That's a great sign. Easy way to manage our risk. Just buy calls 2-3 weeks out. And then, once it runs, you can buy weeklies. Earnings are coming up on 8th of November, which is like next week, I think. Oh yeah, AMC. Just wait for AMC. I'm gonna cover AMC in a separate video, maybe this weekend or next, because I think AMC, a big move is coming soon for AMC. Just looking at the IV data and just looking at the chart, I think AMC, something is happening there. A big move is coming soon on it. So I'll cover AMC, but yeah, I mean, look at Roblox here. Looking really good here. If you look at the volume profile, for Roblox, yeah, this level is kind of acting as a big resistance here, 85. Once it breaks 85 and 86 mark, there is not really a lot of resistance here. I think it can definitely see 90 fast. We just have to be cautious about it. And someone asked me how to draw extended fibs, right? So it just depends on what time frame you're looking at for extended fibs. So let's look at from a daily perspective here, right? So what you do is first identify month or 2 months out calls for AMC, drippy nose. Yeah, AMC, I think AMC has something cooking there. Sorry, I messed this up. Yeah, so this is the support, which you can see that this is a trend, right? So trend based fib extension means there is a trend. So you identify a trend, this is the support for it. And the max, where did it, where was the highest point on a closing basis. So it was around 83.9. And then where was the lowest point on a closing basis, which was around $80. So this is the extended fib. So these are 87 mark, which also coincide with, this resistance area here, right? This is a resistance area around 87, and and then if you move up here, this is another resistance area. So fib levels work definitely. I use fib levels all the time, but in this case you don't need it because there's previous structure here against which you can create your supply zones and demand zones. So yeah, Roblox, definitely, I think we already made a lot of money on it, but it's also closed above 84. Always keep these things in mind, like psychological levels matter a lot. Like this closing above 84, that means someone was putting bid at 84 level. So next, say that you didn't enter Roblox. The best way is that if it holds 84 level on a closing basis, let's say on a 10-minute chart or a 5-minute chart, tomorrow, Monday it opens and you see it is holding 84 area, that's a good entry because you can get out below it. 83.5, 83 point, like around this area, you can get out. The closer you can get your entry price to like support or your stop, the better it is. Yeah. Man, this guy really has no life. True lies. This is one person spamming everyone. Really has no job. How can some people just do this for life? Okay, thoughts on Moderna. Okay, let's just cover the other trades first. Before, so I covered Roblox, covered Lucid, covered XPEV. Which else? What else? X. Yeah, X was also another one, right? So X, if you haven't seen the previous video, I already covered why I'm bullish on it. Look at this breakout. Look at this volume bar. It's amazing, right? I mean, like, this was the top gainer of the day on that day, I think, and we were in this trade. What a phenomenal trade. And just like, there's nothing else to say. I already told you guys. One thing I would like to point out is that some people always complain they got stopped out. One thing a lot of people complain was that they got stopped out, right? Well, always remember that before earnings there is a run up and then run down. Like, usually that's how things are. Like, you see this run up here, we were in this before, we took the profits, and then I told, like, wait for the dips after that. And then you see here this confluence of EMA here. EMA is crossing over. This is a great support area and entry. Like, you can get out below this area. And earnings are risky, of course, but we already made the money and we could have put the house money on it. And this was like, it created this gap. Now going forward, we have to evaluate what happens. Does it fill the gap down? Like, does it go up more and then come back? It just depends on the market. I think in the past this stock has respected the gap fills and everything, so high chance that it might come back, fill the gap. But this is a huge gap to fill with this amount of volume. This is institutional money, so we'll see what happens. If you look at this weekly chart, it has a lot of room to go. I mean, the highest was 48. This clearly, this is a supply area here. Another thing to keep in mind when you're like drawing demand and supply zone, right? This one here, Oh my god, this guy is seriously no, like, I don't know who is this. Why do you have so much spam? Guys, can you please report this spammer? Thank you so much. I just need to, okay. Please report this guy, whoever this is. Really annoying. Maybe I should just remove this like chat. Next time I will just allow chat for subscribers only. That way. Yeah, next time I'll just do subscribers only on the chat. But yeah, so I mean, this is a big breakout here on a higher volume. I'm expecting continuation here, so of course we'll watch this one. It's just starting out. This stock, I mean, it look at this. It has a lot of room to go up. I mean, all-time high is way, like, if you look at this, I mean, all-time high is 185 and it's nowhere near all-time high. So but and the volume, look at the volume. Last week's volume is pretty much the highest, one of the highest volume bar in the stock's lifetime. So what does that tell you? That tells you that institutionals are loading this up. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much, man. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for all those nice comments. So what else did we trade? AMD, yeah. So AMD, yeah, AMD chart. Now look at AMD chart. Look at this zone here. This was after previous earnings run up. You see here? And look at the volume here. Huge run up here, and this was exhaustion here. You know, a lot of people use different names for different like things happening on the price action, and I think this is called exhaustion. I don't know what the technical term is, but what the way I think about is that RSI is way overbought here, and it is way extended on from the short EMA, and most probably you will see some kind of pullback here on AMD. But in this case, it's not too extended, it's respecting. But look at the volume here. It's not really significant compared to this one. Let me block this guy again. One sec, let me remove this. Is there a way to remove someone from not spamming this? I thought only subscribers can send messages. I already did that, but I still see people spamming here. Yeah, please report this guy, whoever this is. I did really well on the AMD put lottos yesterday. Congratulations. Let's go over the trade. Actually, I want to emphasize on some things which are super important here. So if you look at this chart for AMD, right, some people were like, why am I bearish on it? Look, I mean, it broke this trend line, and also this is a head and shoulders pattern here. Where do I find? This is where I can't find things. Yeah, okay. So if you look here, right, left shoulder, this is the head, and this is the right shoulder. I mean, it's kind of like a right shoulder, right? So this is a head and shoulders on a 4-hour time frame. Broke below this EMA curled down. It's not a good sign. But this this area now, you know, like again, you know, the way you draw supply and demand zones, I've already told you, you know, you want to, this is a fresh untested supply zone. You know, you see bids here, these are unfulfilled bids here. So when AMD dropped, I need some moderators. I know I need to find someone who can moderate this stuff. Yeah, it's such a time waste here. Yeah, anyway, so looking at AMC chart here, yeah, it's like, you know, this is a unfulfilled supply demand zone here. So most probably, and also this is a EMA support here. This is a EMA support here. So what I think what's going to happen on Monday is market pulls back. We're going to see AMD drop to this level. So that's 2-point drop. And, you know, there's another support here as 119.42. So, and then I think, you know, it might retest this area again, and then we'll evaluate what happens next. But until then, you know, if you are playing short on AMD, you need to take profits fast. Remember that when a stock is in uptrend, every unfilled bids and every supply, every demand zone is going to act as support. We saw that with Upstart. We'll see that with AMD. Now, everything depends on the volume here. These volume bars are not that strong here. So it might just be a pullback to this area, test this area again, you know, the previous high on a closing basis, and then next leg up, you know. So it's still bullish chart. You know, AMD, if you see here, this has been a long consolidation zone, broke out, may retest, and then make another move up. So yeah, okay, set chat. Okay, I already did to subscribe, but I think I need to change the duration, as you said. Yeah, I changed the duration now. Thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, I'll take the flow request at the end. Just give me a minute. But yeah, AMD, you know, it's still a bullish chart. There's nothing wrong with playing short side if the market behaves like that. Let's go over what was the other trade? Let me see 1 second on my Twitter. What other trades I promised? One second. Just looking at my trades for the other day. It's covered Snap. Yeah, Snap. Yeah, Snap won. So I missed the Snap, right? Now Snap, go back and look. I mean, this chart is ugly. First of all, it's really bad. I already gave you my thought process on. Yeah, I know SQ. Yeah, SQ definitely. I'm watching that one. SQ. I think I'm gonna cover SQ and MRK soon. Onic, give me a second, bro. Calm down. Yeah. So Square, I already told you guys, you know, waiting for this area to see here if we can get some, you know, like this was another demand zone, right? When you see spikes like these, think about the psychology behind this. Price dropped here, there were bids here on this level, which got filled fast, and then it went up again. What does that tell you? That tells you that there were bids here, unfulfilled bids. So chances are that, you know, like with such a heavy downtrend here, and it not being able to break this EMA so far on 4 hour, you know that, you know, it's going to test this area again. And now it's looking weak because the bids were filled here. And now, in my opinion, you know, just looking at this chart right now, it's not looking bullish unless we see the break of 54 area again or 55 area, and then I'll be bullish here again. But right now it's looking weak. But I mean, it depends on the market. Again, another unfulfilled bid area would be here, triple bottom here, right here, this area. You know, you see here, it could be a triple bottom area here. I mean, this has acted as a support for a long time. If you look at weekly, always go to the higher time frame because that gives you better perspective. So now you can see here there were bids here, but just look how ugly this chart is. I mean, you know, it can go to 38 or it can go to 44 area. These are unfulfilled bids here, right? You know, when you see these wicks here, that's where the institutional money usually they place orders here. You know, no one tells you this stuff, but here I am telling you. Yeah, this area, right? So I mean, anything is possible. Keep an open mind with this one. It can go both ways. We can make money on this both ways. You know, right now, just looking at the price action, 4 hour, 2 hour, everything is bearish. It's unable to break the CMA. You know, so okay, so I think those are the trades I wanted to cover. What else? You had some questions, you guys, right? Square, yeah. I mean, Square is looking really good. I mean, like, it's one of the best looking charts here. Earnings are coming up on 4th. In my opinion, this is a great spot for you to manage risk against. It's literally right at 252 support area. I mean, it can break down because, I mean, if you look at lower time frame here, it did, you know, this trend line was broken. So, you know, it might go test this area again or this area, you know, this 243 area, and then run up because it just depends on the overall market here. I'll be looking to buy dips on Square. I'm bullish on Square. I mean, there's just too much good news on Square to ignore it. Just look at the chart here. It's this classic cup and handle. Long way to 284. Just depends on the earnings. I won't mind playing lotto on this, to be honest. I think it has a lot of room to go. Please report this low life user. Ater. Okay. Ater. Okay. So whenever I see a chart like this first, right, I'm looking at key events here. Earnings are coming up. So that could be a catalyst for it to, you know, move up. But just looking at this chart right now, it doesn't look like, you know, it has buyers here. It got rejected at this EMA, and then every time it does that, you know, there's definitely a nasty pullback. And I mean, not even pullback, this is just a sell-off. Now this area has acted as support here in the past. So it might do that again. And look at the flow you said. So let's look at the flow for Ater. Yeah, so I mean, flow, I look at the volume insignificant here. Average volume is 40,000, and here it's 6,000. Bullish premium is also, I mean, this one was bullish, but this was on the day 6% move. So it was probably intraday calls, but overall nothing significant here, nothing of importance in my opinion. But keep monitoring it, you might see something. You know, mRNA, PLTR. I'm gonna take 5 more and then that's all. I'm gonna close this. Just okay, mRNA. I've been watching mRNA. So now mRNA, still, on a higher time frame, if you look at this, it does look like a bear flag, right? This is a bear flag here. It's a classic bear flag, and this has a low volume, and this is high volume sell-off. Now, if you look at the daily chart here, though, it's an ascending triangle, which is a good news. Now, earnings are coming up for mRNA. Now, MRK earnings were phenomenal, right? They were pretty good, and I have no doubt that Moderna earnings will be phenomenal as well. I mean, this company has made a lot of money in last COVID, right? So just looking at from a daily perspective here, let's look at the volume profile. This is a gap here, right? And that's why you see sort of sellers around this area, and it has been rejected here a couple of times. So what I'm expecting here is going to happen is that a day before earnings are 4th of November, like maybe a day before earnings we see a run up, and then or like in the case of MRK, you see that how on the day before the earnings we saw a run up and then a pullback and then boom, right? So for mRNA, I think the best strategy for you to is actually play like a straddle. You can search online a straddle, like you can. So basically, straddle would be, on a break of this, you can make money, and so basically what you will do is that you are expecting the move to be either break down below this level or break above this, and you can make money both ways. And also I think you don't have to your premiums won't burn, because I think straddle is a net credit. I don't know, like it's sell premium, but yeah, I mean you can look online. There's a lot of information on them, but straddle would be a good strategy to play. But we can play intraday as well. You can see here that it has this EMA has been acting as a strong support here for a while. You see here these wicks here. That is a good sign in my opinion. So, and the supply area is getting weak at this point. It has tested this a couple times here. You see here, 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 3 days. So now I think it can move past it, and once it does, there's a huge volume gap to be filled. And I think if the earnings are solid, this gap would be filled immediately, like MRK. So definitely watching mRNA, and that could be the next leg up for mRNA. Right now, it's a bear flag. Cannot deny this one, right? All right. So what's the other one, you guys? PLDR, right? CVS, yeah, sure, CVS is a good play, but I mean it's already extended at this point. It's near all-time high. I mean the chart definitely looks really like Tesla, to be honest, right? So the way the earnings are coming up, I'm expecting a dump and then a run up. I mean, but the chart, I've been watching CVS for a while. You cannot deny this chart. This chart looks sexy. This chart looks amazing. If you look at the ATR band, though, it's almost at 3 ATR here. Volume profile, yeah. So yeah, look at this chart. It's very similar to this chart. Always observe the patterns here. Look. So this kind of consolidation will give me some kind of way to, manage my risk against. With CVS, flow has been bullish as well. So let's evaluate it when it does. But, 90 level is something to watch out for. If your earnings are solid, it can definitely move fast. It can move to the previous levels. I'm not going to go in depth here, but even looking at this is a massive cup. This is a massive base formation here. Yeah, so CVS looks good. and it's been in accumulation here. Momentum is just turning positive on the weekly as well. So chart undeniably is solid. Yeah, I think they'll beat earnings. No, I mean, there's a lot of room to grow, but you just have to find a way to manage your risk against. Like, all-time high, I mean, not all-time high. The previous resistance is at, this pivot is at $90. So you're looking at 1 point move here, and then earnings are coming up. I mean, if it drops to this level, let's say 87, I'll be a buyer then, because then I can manage my risk against this level. Always think about risk reward, you know. What percentage you think will consolidate? Who knows? Nobody knows that kind of stuff. I'm gonna cover OLN because I think this I covered in my last video. So now look at this chart here. This is what I'm talking about, consolidation. Like, this is the CVS chart, couple days. I mean, now I'm hopefully you guys can see the patterns here, right? Very similar pattern here. And earnings, it broke out. It filled this gap here, perfect. And now this EMA is acting as support. Now if it breaks down below this area, 55 was my entry. If you remember, I told you in the video, I told you that I would like it to test 55 level. It did that. So on point analysis there. And if you look at the 4 hours, it's just like a really nice setup here. You know, I'm expecting it to at least retest the this high, and then it make a move up. If the market is strong, which in my opinion it will be. I want to cover market recap, already 7 o'clock, so let's do that first now. End of week plays, of course, I told it's on Sundays, not today. Let me see the history. Yeah, I mean, like, volume, I mean, it's just accumulating here. Maybe 1 or 2 days it might accumulate, you know, and then make a move again. Let the CMA catch up a little bit. That would be nice. It's a little bit extended, of course, because of this big move up here. So definitely watching this one though. I'm hyped for Discord. I'm hyped too. What are the signs you look for to make sure a breakout is confirmed? Is it mainly based on relative? Yeah. I mean, like, volume precedes everything for breakout. And then fake breakouts are usually, like AXP was a fake breakout. Look here. You see this nasty drawdown here? This is a fake breakout. But right now it's right at the support area, so it might be a good entry point actually for AXP for a next leg up. It just depends on how there's this gap which was filled, so that was good. It filled this gap. It's right on this EMA. This EMA has acted as support, and it's also a supply zone, demand zone here. Previous resistance acting as a support. Hopefully, let's see now. But this is a failed breakout, because if you look at the higher time frame here, this is a nasty pullback, right? And this stock has done that in the past. It pulls back, and right now it's retesting this area. So in my opinion, this again is a cup and handle, but kind of like a nasty pullback on a volume which was more. So this is a failed breakout. And with respect to OLN, that's not the case, because if you look at this chart, this is not a nasty, I mean, it's just a healthy pullback, and then it's just consolidating here. If it drops below here, that would be a nasty pullback, right? So SunPower. Oh man, my chart. Sorry. Yeah, I watched this a lot. I mean, SunPower, it's just like right near this resistance area. Oh man, it's really ugly. Sorry. But yeah, this area is 36. It can test that and then pull back, catch up the EMA, retest this area, and then move. Yeah, chart looks good. I think this area is a good area to enter, 30 area. But solar is hot. It might just go non-stop. Earnings are coming up, so I think all solar plays will most probably beat earnings, like Enphase. So yeah, keep this one on watch for sure. I don't think it's a bad idea to play earnings lot on this one. Like it can move to 38, which is 12%, 4-point move. Not bad. EXE, I am already in EXE for a long time. Ever since I alerted EXE was back when, you can check on my Twitter, but I have been swinging EXE for a while on my personal account. Earnings are coming up. I think it might pull back before earnings, but I'm already in EXE. I have like $55 calls, 54, and I might take profit actually before earnings, but I've been swinging this ever since I alerted. I alerted around this area, so probably like 8-9%. So yeah, pretty made decent on this one, not bad. T-Dog, yeah, I mean T-Dog broke out on earnings, and it's just broke out of this channel as well. So in my opinion, it's just moving for the next leg up. Might retest this EMA, but yeah, if you look at this, it just broke out of this this channel here on a strong volume. So yeah, it definitely can move. It can retest this area here. I mean, you can draw anchored VWAP and all those things from here, let's say, right, from all-time high. So it can retest this supply, which is 165, which is I think a 10% move, 16-point move. So yeah, that's all. I think PLTR is the last one I'll cover. Sorry, it's way too many tickers. Yeah, so PLTR, it's making the slow move up. Now Palantir, if you see here, very very similar patterns for PLTR here. The way it moves, it just slowly grinds up. I don't really like trading it because of that. Just like a slow mover, and then it gaps up one day, and then again just nasty drawdowns. So I just don't like trading it, but chart's looking bullish at this point. I think it just needs to go through this 27 resistance again, which it has failed on a weekly monthly perspective here. If you see here, it has never closed above 27 level on a month to month basis. So the way to trade PLTR is to wait. When it closes above 27 level this month, that's your signal to buy leaps. Just wait. Okay, very simple analysis here. Don't have to think too much. Someone is selling PLTR, they are short sellers here. Okay, alright, so that's all for tickers here. I'm gonna cover market real fast, just to tell you guys what I think about the market in general. So this is the important segment here, just watch this. Alright, so SPY closed all-time high on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. Trend is intact here. Everything looks solid. I mean, market is ready for a rally, to be honest here. The only thing which I don't like here is low volume. I mean, these drawdowns had very high volume, and now this is, so one can say that this is not a strong volume, and if it pulls back, pullback can be nasty. But looking at the price action of the other day, I think sure it might retest this area. That would be your sign to see if it can hold this area support. If not, then you can fall down here. But market is looking strong. It just everything is looking with respect to just the Qs. Again, same thing. weekly, monthly, all-time high. Means the same as charts, Now this area was acting as resistance in the past. I would like to see this as a support. So maybe a minor pullback. It's kind of far from this EMA, the blue one. Always keep that in mind, that pullbacks. So it's 4-5% from this, and at this point it's definitely extended. If you look at Qs here, whenever it's extended from this EMA, it tries to catch up to it. So it might retest this area again, 375, which will be a good dip buy. So that's definitely something to watch, and we'll see how things progress. Might not give us a chance. Just looking at this chart, it's a very, very bullish looking chart. There is no way you can deny that. So market is looking solid right now. So monthly hammer here. So, and December and November are usually the time when market is really strong, like just looking at the seasonality wise as well. Macro, just read the news, a lot of news, understand fundamentals of companies, understand basic of economics, how things work. I'll suggest some books. Just ask me on Twitter, I can suggest some books. But understand fundamentals. Okay, so let's cover some of the market breadth indicators here. So let's look at this is the percent of stocks above 50-day average, and you can see here that it's 53 here, and I would like to see this breakout happen. So what this tells me is that all these stocks are about to make that move up, and so this is what I want to see it to go towards this area, right? I mean, it's looks like it's about to break out, and that's what I want. And if you look at the gold, now gold is not looking that strong right now. Looks like it's about to get rejected on this level again. And the reason why gold is a safety asset, so it tells me that where are people flocking towards safety or not. And in this case, it doesn't seem like people are interested in gold at this point. Again, if you look at Bitcoin, this is the macro part. Bitcoin is looking like it's about to make all-time high very soon, and it's just consolidating in this area here. Pullback, really nice pullback, and then now it's looking like it's about to make that big move which everyone is expecting from Bitcoin. And so that means risk is on. Risk is on. And if you look at value line geometry index, which tells you again market depth here, now this has been in this range for a while. This basically tells you like a geometric index on the market breadth, like how many stocks on a closing basis are above their lows. So this is again in this range. I would like to see a breakout of this area, and then we'll know that market breadth is improving. And then put to call ratio, nothing to worry about. 0.6 is fine. If you see here down towards this low area, that means that there's market euphoric. Above it's like bad because more puts are being purchased. And finally, look at the IWM. IWM is still in this range for a whole year pretty much. I mean, it's making higher highs here, but still in this range. So small caps are suffering, OTCs, all of them, they're not moving anywhere because of this. So if it breaks out, then we'll see how things progress. But so far there's nothing significant to look here. And some of the sectors, semiconductors here, all-time high pretty much. So all our semi names like Nvidia looking like about to make new highs here before the earnings. So definitely on the watch here. It can definitely move. And then we have X-Link X, I already told you it's moving. Then TXN had bad earnings, so I think it might need some time to catch up now. And there's other names like On, I'm watching. Earnings were solid, I think. Earnings are on 1st of November, so definitely watching On here. And then another one, Marvel. I've already covered this, near all-time high. Good consolidation here. Hoping to see some big moves on this one as we approach the earnings here. Just accumulating nicely. Definitely watching Marvel as well. On Monday morning. What does that mean? Yeah, on Monday morning, right? Okay, so I think that's all with respect to the market here. I'll make the Sunday video later tomorrow. Hopefully I find some good setups. Previous ones are still valid. What else? If I missed anything, let me know in comments below. I'm not gonna do any ticker requests anymore. I'm kind of tired now. Yeah, thank you all for joining. Have a good weekend. Make sure to like and subscribe. Wait for Discord news, exciting stuff coming soon. Won't be like any other Discord you've seen. It will be a pristine place. Thank you all for joining. It was a pleasure. Have a nice weekend, everyone. Make sure to like the video, drop some comments on the video, so that way you can tell me how things were. Thank you all. Good night. Bye.